I'm Trevor Brown. That's the name I've had as long as I can remember. I was a cabinet maker. I built kitchen cabinets. I love my job. I've always enjoyed my job. I build things. I create things. I look back on a lot of things that we did. Good memories. You know, even just a warm spring day in the month of May, where I would put the registration on my Harley and go for that first ride down the highway and smell the fresh smell of spring. I didn't think much about it back then, you know, just something you did. I really miss that. That was great. That was a good period of my life. Being productive and being involved in part of something bigger. There was a time where I'd be working in the spray booth with the spray gun and my fingers were tingling. I could use them fine. I was strong. I could do my job. I never noticed any weakness or anything, but I got referred to a neurosurgeon that eventually told me that I needed to go for surgery in my neck. Something to do with the nerves, I guess. I signed up for that. I just trusted. I mean, I got so involved in my work, I had a hard time putting it down. I mean, my tools were part of me. I was expecting about a 2-week recovery and then back at it. So then Monday came and we went in and I put myself down on that table and they wheeled me into this room and I waited there and I waited quite a while. And the doctor came in and said it was getting close now, and then when they wheeled me in for surgery, they put this mask on my face and I took a couple of deep breaths and the next thing I remember is waking up on the same table. It seemed as if everybody was yelling at me to move. And the words I remember were, move your arms, move your legs, move your arms. And I couldn't move a thing. It felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds. I remember my arm coming up. I moved my arm. It came up and then it fell in my face. My hand fell in my face. And then I saw the look on the doctor's face and it wasn't good. I managed to get just enough air to tell them, I can't move. I can't move anything. I've never moved anything since. I've never been able to sit up in bed. I've never been able to walk. I have a chair here that holds me in this position. It broke one time. There's a little gear in the actuator. It broke one time, the backrest on the chair, and I went back. They first told my wife, Charlene, that something had gone wrong.
I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. The doctor said the surgery should only be an hour and a half. And it was hours. And finally they paged me to the OR. And I walked to the doors and a nurse met me there and took me into recovery. And I could see Trev laying very still with 2 nurses beside him. And the doctor came and he said something went very wrong. And he grabbed a piece of paper and he drew it out for me. And he said, there. He said, that disc subluxated into the spinal cord. And then he took that piece of paper and he just crumpled it up and he threw it in the garbage. And I walked over there and I just about passed out. I hadn't eaten I was waiting. I was waiting for Trev. We were gonna eat together. We were always together. We always did things together. We loved being together. And here he was, he could hardly breathe. He could hardly speak to me. And he said, Char, what's gonna happen? I said, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna get through this. You know, in the hospital, one of the nurses took me out of the room and she said, because I was there 24 hours a day, I didn't leave. And she took me out of the room and she said, you can leave now. And I said, what do you mean? I can leave now? She says, well, we have places for people like Trev. You don't have to stay. You need to find a life. I kind of laughed and I said, there is no way that you're getting rid of me. You have no idea. Trev's my best friend. Why would I leave him? The care that Trev needs, it's heavy. It's constant. But I sure would want him to do that for me if I was in that situation. We're best friends. We love each other. You know, sometimes Trev has said, Char, you don't deserve this. You know, you don't deserve to get up 5 times a night, 6 times a night to help me. You don't deserve to not be able to go out with your friends, go out for coffee. But I say, Trev, what do I deserve? What do I deserve? I deserve hell. It's only by the blood of Christ that we can have life. It's His gift, His grace. He died for us while we were sinners. We didn't love Him first. He loved us. How can I not love the man that Jesus Christ gave me? In the hospital, I cried out to God, God, where are you? What's going to happen to us? We've got 2 kids at home. How are we going to survive? And as I was looking out the window, it wasn't even a minute. And my phone rang. And I answered it, and it was a good friend of mine. And she said, Char, we've been thinking. We'd like to open up a trust fund, a trust account for you guys to help you through. And I think she thought I hung up because I was completely speechless. She said, Char, are you there? I was in tears. And I said, yes, I'm here. You have no idea that you are God's answer to me this very minute. Thanks. There has never been a time that God has left me. Trev's health is so unstable, but I have Jesus. What I decide to do with this now affects my eternity. I can choose Jesus. He'll walk beside me. He's promised me that. Or I can walk away and have nothing.
Yeah, there was a day when the other doctor came to tell me that it was always going to be like this. I don't know if I've ever been that scared in my life. I was really scared. I don't even know if that's the right word to describe it. It was, how do you come to grips with that? I couldn't move. I was laying there. And I looked down and I saw my stomach was huge. It was just like a balloon. The nurse came in and I asked the nurse, What's going on with my stomach? Why is it so big? I think she was crying already with her answer. I hadn't been diagnosed yet, but she said to me, well, that's what we would call a quad belly. Quads have it. You're always going to have that now. Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, this was a lot on the first couple of days, the third day. A new doctor came in to give me my actual diagnosis. It seemed like she was quite proud to be able to tell me my new name, C6, quadriplegic Asia A. I had no idea what that all meant, but it was like a ton of bricks was thrown at me with those words. My breathing was getting harder and harder, and it got to a point where it would have been easier to let go. It would have been easier to stop breathing because I was so weak. And yet I had my family with me, my beautiful wife. I didn't want to let go because of them, my wife and my children. So I kept fighting at it. I thought I was going to die. There was a time about 3 weeks later, I didn't think I was going to make it. I pleaded with God. I asked the Lord to heal me. I needed to get back. I had a family at home. I had jobs waiting. I needed to get home, and I pleaded with Him to give me back what I had lost and heal me. He said, Trev, let's not worry about you walking with your legs now. I have a much more important walk for you, and I want to help you with that. It's not what I was wanting to hear that day, but it was true. And I want to walk with God more than to walk with my legs. He is the potter, I am the clay. He is the author of my faith, not me. And I'm understanding more and more that I need to trust Him with that part, because He is trustworthy. The spinal cord injury hasn't been able to take away one thing. It has not been able to separate me from the love of God. That's awesome. In the hospital, they gave me this new name, C6 quadriplegic. I'm going to be pretty excited when I get to meet the Lord face to face, and He gets to change my name into something which He thinks is more fitting.
You're not